On Saturday, I belted my dress and it made all the difference. For years, I avoided linen because it has that reputation of vibe, doesn't it? Of being large, floaty, unstructured, very, very loose and oversized. Beautiful on a 6-foot model in Santorini, on a beach, but not so beautiful on me in my town. And then I realised it's because as we age, we need more structure. But if we want to add structure, we just simply add a belt. It changes the look totally. And this one is the Gianna that I got from Lintico last year. And Lintico are sponsoring today's video. Now, the Gianna is one that I wore on Saturday to a wine tasting because I actually am very lucky. I happen to live in sort of the UK's Napa Valley. And we've got many, many vineyards around here. So I had a lovely day sitting in the sun under an umbrella, start of the heat wave, in this dress, belted. Feeling the breeze coming off of the downs. Today, 4 pieces, 6 styling problems solved. And I've gone further. I've delved into your comments and your brilliant observations to bring real solutions to this community. Now, before I show you my new pieces, let's talk about linen itself, the material. Not all linen is equal. European linen is considered to be the best. And Lintico make theirs with European linen. 100% European linen. The reason is it's a stronger, longer fibre. And it's a material that gets better the more it's worn, the more it's washed. And you can't say that about other materials, can you, in your wardrobe? It gets more supple. So what we need to do is buy our linen and wear our linen. When you're buying your linen, look for the Okia Text label because that will tell us that it's free from harmful chemicals. And at least 2 of the pieces I'm showing today have got the Masters of Linen certification, which shows that the whole process has been produced in Europe. So linen is not fast fashion, and because of the shape of the material, it's not trend based, is it, linen? The shapes aren't trend based, it's just a vibe in its own right. This dress is the Fiona, and there are so many features on this dress. Look at the images on the website, you'll see that this is actually just a below the knee length dress, but 5'2". This on me is a midi, which I'm perfectly happy with. Note the waist nipped in slightly. We don't need to belt this. The waist is defined. Look at the A-line skirt. For anyone carrying a little weight in the middle, and most of us are after 50, let's be honest, this is your friend. It doesn't cling. It doesn't pull. It just skims over and gets on with it. I want to draw your attention also to the collar. It's one of the features here. We've also got the buttons down the front and we've got this placket as well down the front. And then as for arms, we've got the cap sleeve here. It's a flutter cap sleeve. We've also got side pockets in this dress, and don't we love our side pockets. Heels fight linen. They look frumpy. They work against the whole nature of the fabric. Flat sandals, espadrilles, a wedge, that's the pairing. Lean into it and the whole look clicks. And yes, it will crease. Of course it will. It's linen. That's not a problem to solve. That's just what it is. Now this is the Yvonne top, and perhaps we need to talk about upper arms. Some of us don't like to show our arms, do we, in the summer? But this is covering part of the upper arm. It's not dramatic. It is leaving the rest of the arm exposed, but it's doing enough to be a bit of a distraction. Now look at the overall cut of this top. The fabric is soft. It's going to get softer the more you wear it and the more you wash it. But it has movement in it. It moves beautifully. It hangs beautifully. It does exactly what we want it to do. Skim. Yet the cut is structured, isn't it? We've got a neckline. We've got seams down the side. We have got a straight shape. It's not flowy and wide and swamping. And we've got a back button closure. And this is important because unstructured clothes on a mature woman who's, like me, lost her structure through gravity and age, it looks like we're wearing someone else's clothes. It doesn't look chic and elegant. So we need structure in our linen. I'm pairing this at the moment with the Leon trousers, and I'll be coming on to those later on because there's a bit to say about the Leon trousers. Now this top I'm wearing is the Jade, and you may recognise it because I do have this in another blue, which I adore. One of the ways I like to wear this is with the collar popped up, but of course the collar can be down as well. Now when I showed this top last year in the other blue, so many of you bought it. So I thought it's really worthwhile for you and for me to get it in another colour because it is so popular. And honestly, I agree with you. I absolutely adore it. I think because we can do different looks with the collar. In the spring, I love to wear this with jeans. It tucks in really well and you can pull it out. Hem is asymmetrical. The front is slightly shorter than the back, and that gives it a bit of movement as well. This is quite a long top, so we can have it loose, we can have it out. Now, I'm very much a roll the sleeves up person, and by doing that, actually I'm raising the eye up a bit, so it's less obvious that this isn't quite a third, 2/3 proportionally. I honestly think that rules are there to be broken. I've always said this, it's good to know the rules. It doesn't mean to say we need to follow them. And if the weather dictates and the environment dictates that you ignore it, ignore it. Now let's talk about the Leon trousers. You will perhaps recognise these. I've already got them in the blue from last year, and I wore them so much. They were incredibly useful colour in the blue. They're going to be useful in white. That is a traditional linen look, isn't it? Especially for holidays and so on. So I couldn't resist getting these in white as well. I love the shape of these. There's such a lovely, loose, wide leg look about them, because that's what they are. Now the navy is one that I've worn out to, to barbecues and so on. White I wouldn't wear to a barbecue. I am so mucky, but a good old navy linen trouser in the Leon, that's safe to go. That hides anything I might end up spilling on it. White is going to be my go for a drink. It's my go for a walk at the beach. That lovely holiday trouser. It kind of has a different energy, in a way more casual. Now, of course, white does raise a practical question. Underwear. Yes, you do need to have skin-coloured underwear. And I'm wearing the Stripe and Stare ones in nude, which is sort of my skin colour, and I'll link them in the description box as well. These do have an elasticated waist, and they do have a tie. You may like to have that on show. I did do a video recently where I showed how you can disguise a elasticated and tie waist if you want to, so you can wear it without adding bolt. One way is obviously having the linen top like this jade hanging loose over the trousers. The other, just use a boxy t-shirt. That comes to a shorter length on you. It gives the impression of having a waist without actually showing it, and it hides then the waistband and the tie waist of the trouser. Let's come back to the Yvonne, because this actually pairs really well with the elasticated trouser. Look how it's actually covering up the tie, it's covering up the elastication, it's falling in a boxy shape, slightly longer boxy shape, which actually might suit a lot of you. Another way is wearing a flowy blouse, one that you can tuck in, it's not adding bulk, but then zhuzh it out to add some waist definition, which is what I did last summer in the navy Leon's here. Now, what I really particularly like about this elasticated waist is that it's smooth. So it's not coming out from underneath the elastication around your hips. It's going down straight, which makes it a lot simpler, and it is one that then we can do a tuck-in without adding bulk, because there's no bulk there already. Now let's also talk about colour, because I am just buying up blues at the moment, blues and pinks, and there's so many colours available in the linen from Lintico. So there's no need to stick to the traditional coastal taupes and beiges and whites and navies and so on. I am just happening to love blue, as you know if you've been following me for a while. So this is my blue, and I couldn't resist getting it. Just as that blue I got last year was my blue. In a way that if you are going to go for other colours like pinks or reds, it's less predictable as well. Do use colour with your linen in the way you would use colour in other aspects of your wardrobe. Choose the colours that suit you. Now, one observation that the community made is that when you're wearing linen, everything else has to be immaculate, and that's because of the creasing. But linen does already have a lot going on for it, and it does have, because of the creases in, you may feel then that you're looking a bit scruffy. And suddenly, despite wearing a beautiful piece of linen, you've wandered into what one of you brilliantly called the laundry basket look. We've all been there. So, making sure your hair's clean, smooth, it's done, making sure your makeup is done, thinking about the finishing touches like the jewellery, the shoes, the bag, what's going to make that linen outfit work and look intentional. So looking at these 4 pieces, this is how I would do it in 2026. Now this jade with the linen trousers, I'd simply just add tan sandals, add a loose, maybe a raffia bag. We're going for a coastal look here with the looseness and simple jewellery, because we don't want to be overdone. And last year I was talking a lot about making natural jewellery to go with that linen vibe. That's one way of doing it. That is one way of doing it. I actually think that it's also nice to be less predictable. So I've just gone for simple jewellery today. A simple necklace here in the neckline, some simple earrings. I think it adds a little bit of an more elevated vibe to be less predictable in a linen look. Now my look here, I've actually got an espadrille. Now if you're wearing wedges, more than likely you are going to have a neutral colour wedge. I happen to have black in mine, which is rather awkward. So what I've done is used a casual bag, and I think the bag does need to be casual. But it happens that I actually have the same colours in the bag, so that brings it together and makes that black in my wedge look more intentional by matching the bag with it. The other thing is you're going to want to know about necklace, and I honestly think that you don't really want to complete this with this neckline, and even say a simple silver chain in a way is going to compete. Strangely, I actually think that if you do want to fill the neckline here with something, I think the beads that we've recently been buying from Amazon actually work despite the fact they're big. And the reason this works is because it's the same colour. So we aren't really competing, we're blending and working together there. And then styling, say, the Leon trousers with the Yvonne, there's quite a lot going on already around that neckline. So I've chosen just to wear some simple earrings there and not a necklace, leave all of this as it is. Make the outfit itself the bag and the sandals, and they just need to go with that casual vibe. And what I do want you to notice though is how there's movement in this when I'm walking. There's a lot of life, despite the fact this is new linen, which tends to be stiffer until you've worn it and washed it and worn it and washed it, but there's so much life in these trousers. So that gives some body, some vibrancy to your outfit. You don't need much more than that, do you? This top with the trousers is not quite a beach look because it's a little bit more smart with the neckline on this linen top. This is go to lunch at the beach, maybe to a seafood restaurant. That would work. This is your outfit. But do remember, I have got examples from 2025 in a video that I will link at the end. Looking after linen is actually quite simple. I use a steamer before I go out, wash it, hang it on the line as normal. If you're going to iron it, then iron it when it's slightly damp and put a piece of material between, so like a tea towel or something, so as you're actually going to avoid getting a shine on the linen by having too hot an iron. Now all these pieces are linked down in the description box. Do have a look at the website and you take advantage of my code to snap up your linen now. And tell me in the comments, which is your favourite? Are you still loving the jade as you did last year that I'm currently wearing?